Hey everyone, it's Leela from Miss Kiss Creations. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to show you how you clean the inside of your tumbler. I receive several messages a day from my followers on how you remove the inside paint and sometimes the epoxy in the inside of the tumbler. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that real quick with y'all, and I hope this video helps y'all. I have two tumblers here that have been designed. It's been epoxied, sealed, and they're just ready to be cleaned up. The first thing I want to go over with y'all is while I epoxy and spray paint this tumbler, this is how I do it. I insert my, my tumbler arm into the tumbler, and I spray paint it, I epoxy it, I glitter it all on its arm. So I don't add anything on the inside. I don't add like paper towels or garbage bags or grocery bags on the inside or anything. So I let anything get inside the tumbler, and then at the end I just go ahead and I clean it up. While cleaning up your tumblers or the inside of your tumblers, I do recommend you doing this over a sink. It just makes it a little easier, and I also recommend you always wearing gloves. All of my materials will be posted in my description below, but I just want to go over them with you real quick. You're going to be needing 100% acetone. I purchased this from Walmart. You're also going to be needing a sponge, a clean sponge or a clean rag or a clean paper towel. You're going to be needing your Exacto knife. And there is another way I want to show y'all how to clean the inside. I did purchase a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. I did purchase this from the Dollar Tree for $1. And it's always nice to have a clean towel, paper towel, rags, or anything close to you on hand, just in case it does get a little messy. So the first thing I do is I run my finger around the rim of the tumbler, and sometimes I have a lot of epoxy around this rim of the tumbler, and sometimes I have very little. So in this situation or this specific tumbler, I have very little amount of epoxy around the rim of my tumbler. But what I do is I take my Exacto knife and I go ahead and I just run my Exacto knife around the edge or the rim of the tumbler, and I'm applying my pressure towards the inside of the tumbler. The reason why I apply my pressure towards the inside of the tumbler is because for me personally, if I'm in a hurry or if I'm not thinking properly, what I do is I go around the edge of the tumbler or the rim of the tumbler, and then I accidentally slide my Exacto knife down. And if you slide this down, this is a test cup, so if I'm gonna show y'all what happens. So I go around the rim of the tumbler and then I accidentally cut it. And so this cut stays in the tumbler. In order to get this cut out, this mark out, you're gonna have to sand it and then re-epoxy it. And that's if you're lucky. I've done this on a black tumbler, black glitter tumbler, and I could not get this cut out. I had to redo my entire tumbler. So make sure you're very careful while you are cutting around the rim of the tumbler, and make sure you're applying the pressure towards the inside of the tumbler. So if you do happen to slip or you're going too quickly, it's going to slip on the inside and it's not going to create that cut or that mark on your tumbler. So I'm just going to go around the edge, or the rim, and you can see all of the epoxy coming off. I just go ahead and I wipe that inside of the tumbler. I don't stick that down my drain or anything. I throw that away whenever I'm finished in the trash. And then I just clean up all of the epoxy. Sometimes I get epoxy inside of the tumbler. I just take my Exacto knife and I just pick it up. So I just like a razor blade, I just cut it right off the inside of the tumbler. This one seemed to be cleaner with the epoxy, so I have no inside markings on the tumbler. So you just do this until you feel comfortable, or until all of the epoxy is off of the rim of your tumbler. And remember to apply that pressure inside or towards the inside of the tumbler and not the outside, so you do not get this mark. Again, I have this excess epoxy inside of my tumbler. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this out in my trash, and I'll be right back. And now I want to remove the paint on the inside of this tumbler. So you see I did get a lot of red paint on the inside of this tumbler. That is okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it with no problem. This is when you're going to take your 100% acetone. I did just transfer my my acetone into a smaller container just to make it a little easier to store. And then you're gonna take your rag, or I have this, I bought these from the Dollar Tree. I have this rag. I've also done this with paper towel. So anything you have on hand, just make sure it is clean, because you do have to remember that people are going to be drinking out of these tumblers, and you don't want anything dirty on the inside of your tumbler. So I just put some 100% acetone on my rag, and then I'm just going to clean it up with 100% acetone. This acetone works so well, and this is so easy for me. In my opinion, it's easier than trying to avoid getting stuff on the inside. Whenever I make my tumblers, I don't worry about getting stuff on the inside of my cup at all, because if I do, I'm just going to overthink it. I let whatever gets on the inside get on the inside, because I know when I'm finished, I'm able to clean it up. So you're just gonna go ahead and do that. And I personally like a rougher or a more rough sponge like this, because it cleans up the inside and it picks up that paint a lot quicker and a lot easier than a smooth paper towel or anything similar to that. So especially when I'm using my rags, I make sure to get a rag that's a little bit more coarse than like cotton. I make sure it's a coarse rag, so it can pick up that that paint off of that rim a little easier for you, so you're not really putting too much elbow grease into it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this up, and then I'll let y'all know the next step. The inside of my tumbler has been cleaned with the acetone. There's no more spray paint inside of the tumbler. Now for this rag, I keep these rags specifically for my acetone. So you're just gonna run this out with water, and then I just use these about 4 or 5 times until they've really worn down. So you can reuse these a couple times. Again, I did purchase these from the Dollar Tree, so they aren't so durable, and they do rip rather easily, but you can use them a couple times. Now that I have my tumbler cleaned out on the inside, I'm gonna go ahead and run water in the tumbler just to get the acetone out. And then I'm going to take dish soap. No specific brand dish soap. I just recommend, I personally like Dawn dish soap. So this is the brand that I trust, but you can use any brand you like. And now I'm just going to wash the inside of the tumbler, and I'm going to give it a really good scrub. Again, there is 100% acetone in here, and people will be drinking out of this tumbler. So you want to make sure this tumbler is scrubbed very, very well. And if you did get any acetone on your gloves, go ahead and change your gloves, take off your gloves, or put another pair on, so you don't transfer that acetone from your gloves into the tumbler. And what I usually do is I wash around the entire tumbler, so I wash the outside as well, just out of habit. But I'm making sure I'm focusing on this rim and in the inside of the tumbler, giving it some pressure just to scrub it down better. So I can get the acetone out. And again, I am using a brand new paper towel. For this step, I always use a paper towel. I never use a rag. I never use a sponge. I don't want any strange or any bad smells left behind on the tumbler. Whenever a customer opens their tumbler, usually people take the lid off immediately, and by habit, they smell inside their cup. I don't know why, but I've seen people do that. It's okay that they do, but I just don't want any strange smells that they smell from the tumbler. So using my paper towel keeps it smelling fresh and new. So once I've washed it down, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it off with hot water. I wanna kill anything that might have been inside the tumbler, and I'm washing the outside as well. Once I have this washed down, I'm going to go ahead and take another paper towel. Again, I only use paper towels for this process, only because I'm trying to avoid any strange smells inside this tumbler. I don't want it smelling like an old rag or a paper or a towel or anything. So I make sure to dry this off completely, especially the inside, to make sure there is nothing left inside the tumbler. And once you clean this down, if you do notice some more paint that you might have missed, just go ahead and repeat the process. Take your acetone, go ahead and do the inside, and run water through it, wipe it down with soap and water, scrub it down, and then dry it again. And do that process until your tumbler inside is completely clean. And now you can see the inside of this tumbler is clean. There's no acetone on the rim. There's no paint inside of this tumbler. There's no epoxy stuck inside of here or anything. This tumbler is ready to go. I am getting it wet with my rag, so that's what you see here. But other than that, this tumbler is ready to sell. So I have this other tumbler here ready to sell, and I've seen people use something else other than acetone to clean out the inside of their tumbler. Some people are very against using acetone, or sometimes it eats through your gloves and you don't want it on your skin. So I've seen people use these magic erasers. I'm going to be honest with you, this will be the first time that I've used this, so I wanted to do it with y'all to see how it'll work. Again, this magic eraser was purchased from Dollar Tree and they sell them individually for $1. I've already used my Exacto knife on the rim of this tumbler, and now I'm just going to focus on the inside. I hope you guys can see there's white spray paint on the inside of this tumbler right here. So I'm going to see if this magic eraser really works or if it doesn't. So I'm going to just start scrubbing it. All right, so I'm going to try to wet it. I didn't know to do it either wet or dry. And then I'm just gonna scrub like I normally would. And then we're gonna see if it takes off the paint. So far, it actually is working. So if you guys are against this acetone, or if you don't have any acetone and you have this magic eraser on hand, this might just work. Now I will say this is a lot harder and I have to use a lot more elbow grease than using the acetone, and I probably won't use this way. I prefer the acetone still, but again, if you're against acetone, then go ahead and grab some magic erasers and you can start cleaning up your tumbler with this. So I'm gonna fast forward this part, but keeping y'all viewing it, and we'll see how long it takes to clean this tumbler up. Okay, y'all, so it looks like the magic eraser does work. So again, if you are against using acetone, go ahead and use the magic eraser. It did come off. I will say if you are using acetone, or if you're used to using the acetone, the magic eraser was a little harder for me than what I'm used to, but it does work. It did come apart. I'm still gonna keep this part. I'm gonna try to use it again. So maybe I can get 2 or 3 uses out of this, but it did come apart. And remember that these are $1. So if you are pushing out 20 to 30 cups a week, you are going to be spending at least $15 to $30 a week if you're washing every single, or if you're cleaning out every single tumbler. So do keep that in mind with your costs. It might be a little less if you do get these at a cheaper rate, if you buy them maybe at Sam's or in bulk somewhere, or if you can use this 4 or 5 times, that would be great. So I will still wash this out with my soap and water using my clean paper towel, my new paper towel, and then I'll go ahead and dry it using the new paper towel as well. So just because I didn't use acetone, I'm still going to clean this tumbler, and I still don't want it to smell funky or anything like that, so I'm going to be using my clean paper towels. So these are the 2 methods that I have for y'all on how to clean out the rim and the inside of your tumbler. Let me know which method you like better, or if you have another method or any tips for me that you saw that I did incorrectly, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can see more craft and tumbler videos. I'll see y'all next time.